forgotten to hit the record button. Here we go. So let me share the screen again. So I'm going to double check on the password for this, make sure that we have the correct capitalization and stuff going on for it so that students can access that. But the other item we have due is the schedule planning worksheet, okay? And so just so you know, I probably should flip-flop the order of these two, but they're right here together. Here's the submission box. Anytime you see this little symbol out beside something, it's a box where you submit something. Anytime you see a paperclip, it's a file. So here's the schedule planning worksheet submission box, but then here's the actual sheet. And you should have seen one of these before. Many of you shared that you did do one with your guidance counselor when you enrolled here. Does this look familiar? This type of schedule planning sheet, I'll scroll down a little bit more on it. If not, then you need to do one. But either way, you'll put your name and you'll start filling out, just as we looked at on the last class period. You'll go to the website, you'll look at what you're thinking about majoring in and what classes they require, and you're going to map out a plan. And what we will be doing once everyone has turned these in, I want you to at least start and give it a try. I'm happy to meet with you individually if you need help getting it going. But after we've done it, we will be doing instructor meetings. You'll meet for about 15, 20 minutes with me. We'll go over this together. You'll also then schedule a meeting with the guidance counselor. So the sooner you turn those in, they're not due until the 21st, but those of you who do know what your major is and what direction you want to go in, go ahead and start submitting them, because the sooner you do submit, and then once you submit, you schedule a meeting with me to go through it. Once you do submit and schedule a meeting with me, you can go ahead and start meeting with the counselor to get registered for classes. So they aren't open yet, but classes will be opening for registration in the next couple weeks. So no worries if you do wait until the 21st to get that done, but sooner you can go ahead and have that ready and then be ready to register for your classes, okay? Let's look at, again, a reminder of the discussion board forum that we have for this week. As always, we have one that's based on the chapter. It's based on a time when you had to apply grit to overcome a failure or a major obstacle. And my one and only critique of the textbook that we use is I didn't really feel like he had a legitimate hardcore challenge that he needed to overcome. I hope they revised that and come up with something a little bit more intense for the example there. I'm gonna stop the screen share and go to the quiz and kind of browse a couple of the quiz questions and just make sure that I note for you what key page numbers you need in the book. Okay, so be ready to take some notes. Give me a second here to stop the share. And then I'll make sure that I'm kind of going through the quiz directly. Oh, whoops, I don't need to share the screen again. Hold on just a second, guys. So as you're going through chapter 4, they're basically talking a lot about self-management, time management, how to organize your time, okay? There's a page in here, and I'll get that exact page number going for us in just a minute, where they talk about quadrants. If you kind of break up the requirements that you have, things that you need to do, if you break it up into quadrants based on something that's very urgent and very important, or not so urgent and not so important. So that's on page 125 of the textbook. You'll want to be able to use that chart to answer the first couple questions on the quiz. They're related to the quadrant. It's figure 4.1. So there's another question that kind of has to do with some research that's been done. And the research is talking about roughly how many hours per week do students study. And they look at it over time. So back in the 1960s, students used to study about this many hours per week. And then, or it's actually 25 hours per week. And then in the future, moving forward, you know, in the 80s, they only studied 20 hours per week, but you'll need to be able to answer roughly how many hours per week do students study now, okay, at least according to the research. Let's see. You'll need to know the definition of grit. So if you'll notice, it's part of our discussion for this week. There's a definition of the word grit. And it comes from a guy named Peter Diamandis. And so that's in the chapter as well. There's a little section about grit. And you'll find that section. Let me get the page number for you here. The section on grit starts on It's on page 140. So page 140, the whole chapter is talking about self-management, and grit is one of the key focuses of the chapter, but that section starts on page 140 for you. So you'll need to know what their definition of grit is. You'll also need to know planning apps. So there are a lot of apps out there that are kind of cool that will help you plan and map out a schedule. And they list several of those as nice tools that students can use. So pay attention when they start talking about apps that you can download to help you with your planner, okay? And they've got some of those mentioned on pages 150, 151, 152. Some of those apps are there. 153 actually. It's like a 3 or 4 page little section where they're talking about how technology can help you organize your time. But there's actually a little chart on page 153 that lists a bunch of those apps. So you'll need to be familiar with those for one of the test questions. True false question about mentally rehearsing purposeful actions to reduce fear and anxiety. So you'll kind of want to pay attention to that section. And then the last couple of questions on the test. So you notice they had a healthy choices section, and they have a healthy choices section at the end of most chapters in this book. There was one we looked at previously where it was dealing with decisions related to alcohol and making wise decisions related to alcohol. You'll notice on the healthy choices section for this chapter, it starts on page 158. Page 158. The healthy choices section here is talking about smoking, whether that's vaping or anything like that, marijuana, cigarettes, etc., tobacco. It kind of has a whole section just about smoking in general. And the last 3 questions on the test all come from this section. So page 158 is where it starts. And there are about 3-4 pages here where they're talking about different just statistics, studies on making healthy choices regarding smoking. Okay.
I just want to say one of those questions is kind of tricky too. Don't think.
Oh, did you already try it?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Okay. Which question was it, if you don't mind me asking? Uh-oh. I think you're muted still.
It was number 9, the true or false. It just said that cigarettes most people, and then it asked if drugs, like true or false, kill the most people. But it was false. I think it was cigarettes. So I don't know.
Yeah, let me go back and open that quiz. I won't show it on the screen, but let me go back and open the quiz and look at it. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. Is my sound working a little better now? I'm having some computer stuff odd stuff this morning. Sorry about that. But so were we able to hear at least okay the overview of the quiz? Yeah, okay. Hopefully, I don't know if I've got poor internet connection or something odd going on. Let me see. Question number 9, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. According to the advice at the end of the chapter, substance abuse is the #1 preventable cause of death in the entire world. Let's see. Probably came from a direct quote in there. And I'll see. I don't want to give everybody an answer there, but I will double check it. And if I find that it is just too confusing, I'll give everyone the benefit of a doubt on a point on that. So if you end up with 9 out of 10 and that's the one you missed, I might give everyone the benefit of the doubt if it's something kind of tricky. I probably pulled it, Ben, from a direct quote. It says, Smoke. All right. So at the very beginning of that, so I'm looking at the bottom of page 158. It says smoking cigarettes is the #1 preventable cause of death in the entire world.
Yeah, I just thought it was tricky because it was
Substance abuse.
you know,
Yeah.
I didn't know if you meant cigarettes by substance abuse, so I didn't know. It just was kind of like a word flip. It was kind
Well,
of
I'll tell you what. So this class is not intended to try to fail everybody.
All good, yeah.
Okay. I tell you what. Thank you for speaking up, Ben. For the benefit of the whole class, I will give everybody a point for number 9, just to make sure. Okay. I mean, again, it's guidance 102. The purpose is not like, ha ha ha, let me see if I can fail everybody here. You know, that's not the purpose of the class. Okay.
Thank you.
It's not the purpose of my English class either, but thanks for speaking up. Okay. So the correct answer to that would be false, but like he said, it's kind of a word play. Okay. And then I see one question in the chat box. Okay, yeah, the same thing. So JD had the same question. The wording there, was a little bit tricky. Okay. Any other questions related to the quiz? And again, I try because ultimately it's a requirement. You do have to read. So I'm not going to just give the answers, but I'm kind of helping you read through, you know, maybe there's certain parts of the chapter you could kind of skim a little bit, but then key pages that you want to pay attention to and know about. Okay, so that's pretty much everything we needed to cover today. So as always, you have a discussion forum on the left, and it's related to grit, which is one of the sections of the chapter. It's also a question on the quiz. You have your weekly quiz, which we just discussed. The WOIS survey, I've got a couple students saying that, hold on a second. I'm trying to screen share, but I've still got the quiz pulled up. Let me get that. Got a couple students saying that the passcode is not quite working on that, but you should at least still be able to start working on your worksheet. So I'll show that one more time. I'll make sure that I take roll, and then I'll let you out today. Hold on just a second here. Share screen again. Kind of worried I might end up freezing up on you guys here in a moment. I may have to just shut my computer down and restart it or something, or check my router. So again, there's a discussion on the left. If you scroll down, there's always a quiz. We just went over that. But what I want us to pay attention to this week, don't wait until the end at the 21st. I mean, it's due by then, great. But the sooner you get this done, the sooner we can get you started. This is the submission box. And it gives you the link. If you were out on Monday, this gives you the link of where you can go to see the lists of classes. I'll try to get that recorded class session uploaded for everyone. The worksheet is right here. So check out the website, look at what classes you're supposed to be taking. And one thing I forgot to mention on Monday is typically classes that are labeled with a 100 something, like the course number, if it's 101 or 121 or 151 versus 221 or 251 or whatever, 100 classes are generally supposed to be taken before 200 classes. It's talking about the level of difficulty, and it's talking about, you know, what classes you should be prepared for. So go with any, if you've got a list that you can choose from, go with 100 level classes before you go with the 200 level ones. That's just a quick note there. So this is the worksheet we want to try to fill out and get submitted. And once you do so, I will begin scheduling appointments with students to talk about your plan, make any comments or edits, you know, using the notes box if I think you should switch what quarter you take something or whatever. And then you'll follow up by meeting with an actual guidance counselor. Any questions? Okay. Thanks for tuning in this morning. I'll let you guys go a little early and get to some of your other assignments. Have a great day, everyone. Stay on the call if you have any questions for me. I'll hang out for a couple minutes. Yep, later.
Hello.
Hi there.
So in the worksheet assignment, or is there a website? You said there is a website. Is that link on that thing? I'm sorry, I wasn't.
Yeah, you know what? I'm happy to share it again. No problem. No problem. Because I know it's always kind of a delay between the time I get those recordings posted and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
go
for
back.
nursing, it's also really laid out for you.
Oh, it
as
is.
well,
Yeah.
right?
And so, I mean, it might, for some people, it's going to take you 15 minutes to fill out the worksheet because you've got it right there. Other
Gotcha.
people are in a little different situation, but either way, we want you to take.
I remember doing this a
initiative.
long time ago when I was just going for a general, and it was a lot harder because it was all up to me, and I hated
Yeah.
that.
So some people, it may take you an hour and a half to figure out what you want to take. Some people, if it is, you know what you're planning to major in. So you go to your areas of study. That's what that link takes you directly to, the areas of study.
Okay.
Scroll
cool.
down through, find the one you want. We did do a little bit on the previous video of exploration because some people, for example, like Austin, for example, she's going into physical therapy. She can't get a full degree here. She's got to transfer it to somewhere
Gotcha.
else. And she didn't want to do PTA, which is physical therapy assistant. She wanted to get more of like the biologies and the anatomy and physiologies. And so her goal is to transfer to the University of Montana. She just needs to make sure she's taking the right classes she needs here so that she can transfer. So in her case, she was looking at that college and this college too, to make sure she had the right classes. So it seems it's not anything like that. Hers is going to take a little longer to get figured out. But if it's something that's pretty determined, so nursing, you said pre-nursing, right?
Yeah.
Let me see if it's under. You're just going to go with nursing, and then pre-nursing, I think they don't have. I think it's just nursing, and you need to know they're going to show you like to get in. Here's the classes you need to make sure you take, right?
Yeah.
They've got.
They also have like GPAs and stuff that you need in order to.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's typically an 80 or above, so like a 3.0, a B or higher in your classes. So there we go. They've got the list here before you even start. Here's the classes you got to take.
Yeah.
So
those are what
basically
I'm in actually. So
the main thing we tell students is don't load up on the sciences altogether. You don't want to be taking bio and chem all in the same, and then sometimes math, spread them out. So maybe the psych class, right, along one of the, what we tell students is take a couple quarters to spread out your sciences a little bit, but at the same time, you've got 2 or 3 different bio classes you got to take, and these are 200s as you see. So you're already in the 160 now.
Yeah,
that's what they should have done. Yeah, go ahead and get you started with the 100 level ones. And then it's up to students on 241, 242, 260. If you feel like you can stack those up, I advise usually no. Like do these 2 and then break it up, but again, it's just depending on the student, what your strengths are and what you feel like you can handle all in one quarter, right?
It's a lot of studying, so I'd be like, heck no.
I've never sat in on that class, but I've heard from numerous students that the bio classes are a lot harder than you'd think. I've heard that from students. So I would say
you just have to really grasp it, otherwise you'll fall behind really fast.
And it's not worth it to try to like overkill and then fail, right? Like it'd be better to just go ahead and plan on doing this 1 quarter, this
I'm doing that in
quarters,
English 101.
Yeah, 3rd quarter right here.
Yeah.
And then mix it with the other classes and try to get all of it knocked out in 3 quarters. And that way you've got a full year and you're kind of like ready.
Cool.
That's what my advice is. And then here's your GPA requirements and all of that.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
And then I did miss Monday. I just wanted to apologize for that.
You've got a few freebie absences, okay? So you're not on my radar. You would be getting an email from me if you were up to like 6 absences or something, and we've only been in school, 5 weeks,
Right.
So you would be on my radar, and you would get a nice but firm email saying, hi, like, I haven't seen you in about 3 weeks. Yeah.
I would never. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yep. Hi, Arthur.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing okay. Got some computer freeze ups that are going on this morning. So if you lose me, that's what the deal is. I'm probably going to have to shut down and restart or either reset my router or something. So hopefully.
Okay, I was just giving you a heads up. I know I'll be better by Monday for sure, but I've been laid down. Like it started last week and it just off and on. That's what my friend had said. You better go check yourself for corona because the way cause I just went through it like last Monday, Tuesday, somewhere around there. I was kind of sick and down, and couldn't really get around. So then about 3 days ago, it just came back out of nowhere because I was staying in and I had to go out because my grandson had flew in. So my daughter couldn't drive in the snow, and it's snow that's out here. So I didn't want to go outside. I ended up going outside. Anyway, long story short, I'm tore up. I'm starting to feel better today. But these last couple of days, I haven't even been able to move. I had to email my geography teacher. I couldn't even open up the laptop and even just focus on that stuff without just my eyes hurting and everything.
I would go get tested just to make sure,
I know.
and if you did test positive, I mean, it would be most important just to know for your family, if you're going to be around everybody or whatever, but also, we're happy to give, especially if you do have corona or someone in your immediate family does, we're happy to give extensions of time on stuff. And I don't know if you caught the first part of the class, but I'm not trying to like fail anybody out of guidance 102. So focus on your other class first. And then but I would say go get tested because that changes the game a little bit, right? Like
I am, and I was gonna do it, but it's just I haven't been able to. I not have been wanting to move. I'll get off my and we just moved in this place, so I got air mattresses. I'll get off my air mattress and walk around and take a couple of steps, and I had to crawl to the. I mean, not to put too much private out there, but I had to crawl to the bath.
Right. That's not good because you don't. Sometimes people let it go on and let it linger, and you end up with a high fever and not being able to breathe, and then you're on a ventilator in the hospital. I mean, you don't want that. So
no, I know. I'm gonna go to the clinic.
Yeah, just call and say like, look, I can't even move good. And see. If you don't think you should be driving, see if anybody be around people, but see if anybody be willing to just drive you up to a clinic to get tested.
Yeah, and I'm trying to keep my daughters 17 and 19, and then my grandson now is 17 months. So I'm trying to keep them kind of away. I just stay back here in the back room and stuff, but my 17-year-old's in and out, like bringing me stuff, and just she's around them. So I got to go get tested, period, just so I know, just for their sakes and all that stuff. So
I would, but then also you don't want to be getting into something, I think what happens when these people end up hospitalized and stuff is when they do just kind of let it go and, they end up, in an emergency where they're having a hard time breathing or something, and then it's serious, and then it's, so anyway. Yeah. I'm not your doctor, but I would say go get checked. Okay.
I just told my daughter, I said, I'm scared of I don't want to go to get tested. For a few days ago, this was my thoughts. I didn't want to go because I didn't want to. My thing is that you go into that hospital, you're